can go very hard towards building wealth, riches, fame, everything, but it can get destroyed by greed. What you are seeking is seeking you. You have to understand that. You have to tap that potential. So we need to have regular doses of dopamine. If we are upset, I feel low, I'm going to get a couple of rounds of alcohol. I feel high, I feel good, I'm going to get a couple of rounds of alcohol. What you make of your existence is your own choice.
Ayahuasca as a psychedelic to boost their enlightenment. Welcome to the next part of Conversations with G. I won't give an intro this time, we'll just start off where we left, right? Because something in the last episode clicked, right? And it made the conversation much more enlightenment, humbling, and much newer for myself. No, I would start this conversation by asking you one point. If we see in different civilizations of this world, there are certain practices which involve the use of psychedelics, right? In South America, it's much profound that they use ayahuasca as a psychedelic to boost their enlightenment. We also have heard about bhaang. We have heard about weed being used. Are they necessary to do? What is the reason of people using it to achieve enlightenment?
Well, you cannot use it to achieve enlightenment. Let me state that up front. You can use them to achieve a state of mind that is open to some experiences. So it's mind altering experiences. Interestingly, I'm smiling when you talk about ayahuasca because I actually signed up for that experience. I read up about it and I had booked a retreat in South America. And the more I read about it and the reasons why people do that, this was before I began my yoga journey, the more I realized that that was what they call a turbocharged way of what we teach in our Sanatana Dharma. You want to achieve something over 40, 50, 30 years and you want to instead go and do a turbocharged way. That's the interpretation that I came to. And I said, I don't want to take the quick fix route. I want to take the longer route or the longer route. So I cancelled my trip. These are not instigators, they are incidentals.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why it is an ayahuasca, since I've registered for one, I will tell you. The disclaimers can run to hundreds of pages. We are not responsible for A, B, C, D, E, F. If something happens, it's because of you. My disclaimer ran to 42 pages. Indemnity that I had to sign. And the reason for that is, if you are in a state of mind that is highly excited, you are very clear about, oh my, I have to go find this out, you will have one form of experience. If you have an underlying negative experience that is fueling this, you could forever be negatively paralyzed. Which is why they take all these indemnity clauses. So some people slip into these states which they cannot come out of. Medical terms, you could call it a coma, mental coma state. So it's not like you can just go take a ayahuasca experience and then come out and say, okay, I've experienced what I need to do. It doesn't work like that. That is how it's portrayed to a lot of people. But you need to, it is similar to what we talked about earlier, the Kundalini awakening. You need to have the mental strength to accept it. Would you rather go and get a double shot of that, or would you rather build your body and strength and then experience it as it has to? When I spoke about Vivekananda getting that, what did he experience? He got that an experience from Ramakrishna, Paramahamsa. He said, please don't do this again because I want to do it on my own. We tend to have this need for immediate dopamine, what I call the dopamine biscuit. I feel low, I'm going to get a couple of rounds of alcohol. I feel high, I feel good, I'm going to get a couple of rounds of alcohol. I feel X, I'm going to do Y. I feel Y, I'm going to do Z. You don't need to do anything. You can experience that stage. So we need to have regular doses of dopamine. If we are upset, I want to go and yell at a few people on Twitter. If I feel extremely good about how my outfit looks, I want to make a post of it on Instagram, etc., etc., etc. You don't need to do any of it. This is one of those experiences that I chose to avoid. I'm not recommending somebody to do it or not do it, because I found out that the right way that I wanted to go was a lot different. And I wanted to do it that way. And it was not a reason why I started yoga, but many years before this, I actually signed up for that experience. Equate the same with a bhaang or a weed, or so. The common analogy that you will hear from some people is, if you're a hardcore Shiv Bhakt, you have to smoke up. No, you don't. Shiva smoked up when he's how, what's the proof that you have that? I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying he did. Firstly, we can have a 25-year discussion on whether Shiva is a concept or a person or a state of mind. So you've gone from that to he looked this way to he smoked weed and he. What's the source of all of this? How are you making these points? Which is what I said earlier. People form life, medical, spiritual opinions on what they read 10 minutes back, 1 hour back, 2 hours back. These are opinions or learnings that are formed over millions of years. You cannot condense it and learn it just like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a wrong question, it's the prevailing question. Focus on the aspects of Shiva that are most appealing to you. One of the things about Shiva that appeals to me the most is he's considered the first yogi, right? The Nath Sampradaya, Shiva is the first yogi. There is no movement for thousands and thousands of years. Can you sit in one place without moving for 10 minutes? You don't need to sit in Padmasana. You don't need to place your legs in that way. Just sit in a cross-legged position, chin mudra. Can you sit for 10 minutes and close your eyes? Most people cannot even sit on the floor. And we are talking about Shiva smoking weed, so that part has agreed with you.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the aspect that appeals to you the most, which is, for me, stillness is a superpower. Can I be still? Can I watch my breath? Can I just be thoughtless for some time? If I achieve that state, I have achieved one minuscule speck of what I think Shiva is. Right? So all of these are incidentals. It is like when we talk about Ganesha, a lot of people will talk about the little mouse. There's so much of food, but there is a little mouse. What's the purpose of the mouse? What is the personification of Ganesha? Clearer of obstacles, knowledge, faith. You have everything, but you're in control. you're wise, you're auspicious. All of these are aspects of Ganesha, and there are millions more. Ekadanta. You have 108 names for Ganesha itself, right? So you can focus on all of that. So the question will be, why is there a mouse? Because as big as you are, and as much as you acquire, you can have a godown full of rice, and it can be destroyed by one mouse. So that is to give you perspective, that keep your eye on that mouse also, because you can go very hard towards building wealth, riches, fame, everything, but it can get destroyed by greed. It can get destroyed by envy, jealousy. So what does that mouse mean to you? But that doesn't mean that you only look at the mouse. You keep the mouse in perspective. So we tend to have questions based on incidentals and aesthetics. So one of the things that I'm hoping to change as part of the podcast, as part of my conversations, is to change the questions. When you change the question, the answer gets better, because your questions are mostly derived from your programming and your training. We have to alter the base of that. You know which movie I love with the questions? The Matrix. Every question that the Oracle asks, what does Keanu Reeves say to that? You already know the answer. Now. Why don't you tell me? She offers him candy, right? And he says, you already know if I'm going to accept it or not. He says, I wouldn't be an oracle if I didn't know the answer. But you need to know that. So all the conversations with the oracle, which they portray as technically as a form of God, is that everything is predetermined. So why do I need to do anything? Why not? You are destined to do something. Fulfill your destiny. Fulfill your destiny. So for a normal person who's not exposed to spirituality at all, I think one of the easiest ways to get all these, what I call, a programmed version of questions. The Matrix is a great way to, that's why it connected with so many youngsters. Not because that we live in a simulation, etc. alone, but that all the questions that he was asking us, if everything is predetermined, why do I need to do anything? You are the one, but why do I need to do anything? So it gets answered. And the simulation also, taking that analogy further, is entire cosmic existence. So you could run multiple theories with that movie, but that's the answer. We talk more about incidentals than we talk about purpose. If I become wealthy, I will buy a car. What is the point? Do you want to buy the car or do you want to be wealthy? Right? If I get this, I will do this for Lord Ganesha or Lord Venkatachalamurti. What is the goal? Do you want to do this for Lord Ganesha or do you want to achieve that? Change the question. The answer will appear differently. The answers are all there. So many times when I get into this question mode, personally, I don't claim to do it all the time, and then I say, maybe I should change the question. And then I just leave it like that. The new question slowly comes in. The answer is already there. Do I need? I asked the same question. Did Shiva? One of the things that I was very focused on for a long time was, why are there no pictures of Shiva with a beard? How do we know that he does not have a beard? There are now images of him. These are our assessments of his existence. Does he have a beard? How do we know that he's ripped? all incidentals. That's not the question to ask. What is written about Shiva? Kalenana Vachedat. He existed before time. He will exist after time. He knows everything that is to be known, that is known, and that is unknown. Also, he knows. When you give definitions like that, then aesthetics, everything else is aesthetics. He is the one who is the origin of knowledge. Knowledge originates from him. Everything that is known comes from him. Even things that you don't know, he knows. That's why it's like Kalenana Vache. He exists before time. You cannot even fathom that.
The mind can't process that.
We can't do that. So why worry about exactly how he looks? It was done to allow people to form an image to bring it into their heart, into their mind. We have gone to the tune of saying X, Y, beard, ye, wo, all of those aspects are all true. But you are spending more time thinking about the form than the qualities. That's where we kind of swerved from the road, swerved from the path.
I feel that sometimes to get going in life, we need to change the perspective or change the questions, as you rightly said, right? The major turning point in my own life for this mindset was when I joined NCC, right? I was there, and when I'm telling this to put out to the audience that they know, right? When you go to the army training or the NCC camps, in the evening, everyone will get 2 biscuits. It's fixed. Now there are 2 divisions, junior and seniors. I was in junior when I was in 8th standard, and I went for the camp. The seniors gave us 2 biscuits each, and now the seniors had 3 or 4. One of my friend and I went to the instructor and told that, this is the issue, you should address this. Why are we getting 2 biscuits and they are getting 4? The first thing instructor did was, he told us to run 5 kilometers. He was like, you are here for a training. We are trusting you. We are giving you guns to try on. And what you guys are thinking about is biscuits.
Correct.
Your focus should not be on biscuits.
Correct.
If you don't get it, don't take it. It doesn't matter. The thing matter here is, are you training well? So I think the same way, change your questions and focus on a larger chunk.
What is your purpose? Is it to find out if bhaang is a requirement or not? Or are you in a search? The question is incorrect. Question needs to be rethought, rephrased, or in some cases discarded and asked as a new question.
It's right. There was this, I forgot his name, this Baba which is situated in Mathura, right? People go to him and he's much famous on YouTube and Instagram. Someone had actually asked him that if Shiva can have weed and bhang, why can't I? The answer which he gave was, he also meditates 24/7. Do you? If you can do it, then maybe we'll think about it.
There is this analogy that is given by at least 2 or 3 people that I have listened to on podcasts. People say, I want to look like Hrithik Roshan, for example. You cannot choose one quality of that person and say, I want to do that. You have to also understand that Hrithik Roshan has had a broken back. He has had a failed marriage. He's had certain challenges. He's had certain highs, certain lows. If you want to be like somebody, you have to have the sum total of their experiences. You cannot just take one aspect that you like and say, I want to be as rich as Mukesh Ambani, or I want to be as popular as A or B or C, or I want to be as knowledgeable as. That means this person has not stepped out of his house for 30 years to accumulate that knowledge. Right? So we only want the end result, and that too one part of it that we pick. Right? Most people who claim that somebody is successful because of luck are the most ignorant people on the planet. Luck is effort disguised. Simple. You have no idea how much effort that person has put.
I think we always, as a human psychology, we tend to see the end results, but what we don't see is the effort put behind the scenes there, right? We want to have money as much as, let's say, Anil Ambani or Mukesh Ambani, but we don't see
Anil Ambani doesn't have much. Now I'm told. So
but we don't see the efforts put behind that, right? You know, what do you think that what are the important metrics of life which a person has to keep in mind while looking out ahead of his career as a his love life or spiritual growth? What are those reference points that, okay, I want to achieve money like Mukesh Ambani, I want to do X like Y?
well, my aspirations are not around money as a priority. Money is a requirement, but it's not a priority. My level of thought right now is this Purusha, understanding what that means. The liberation, what is the process of liberation, and how do I work towards it? The first step towards it is mastery of your senses. Simple example is, if I feel an urge to say something, kaya, vacha, manasa, and I want to say something nasty, can I control the urge for 1 minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour, etc.? Is it possible? I'm nowhere as close to where I want to be. So I'm on a different aspect in terms of what I want to achieve. I also have the goal of furthering Ananta Yoga, where the direction it needs to go, the extent I want to grow it, the impact that I want to have, etc., etc. But I wrote down, based on things that I found, quotes that I found, and aspects of yoga that I have learned from my mentor, my experiences, and my perspectives, where I've written about 10 to 12 things. I can't speak of all of them without looking at my phone. So if you're okay with that, I can
Sure.
just pull it up. The first thing is that what you are seeking is seeking you. It is a very clear, what you are seeking is seeking you. You have to understand that. What I am seeking is seeking you. I am clear about that. Your soul, Purusha, will receive a body. Okay?
Mm.
You will learn lessons throughout your existence. Each lesson will be repeated till it is fully learnt. Okay? Each lesson will be repeated till it's fully learnt. Which translating it in another way, you will continue to make the same mistakes till you learn from them. There is no better place than here.
I would like you to explain this one more.
I would like to be there, I would like to do this, I would like to be traveling this, I would like be present. You are here. Be in the moment. Appreciate the moment. Focus on the present. There is no better place than here. You can aspire to do many things. You can and will achieve to do many things, and you will do it. But at this moment, you are here. If you say, I want to be a certain place at a certain time, in a certain role, in a certain position, be it vacation, work, relationship, that is your expectation of being in a certain place at a certain time. But right now, you're here. Appreciate that all the time. Many people tend to live in their minds and not in the present. And when that happens, when they are not focused on the present, they are unable to execute anything to the point of wanting to go where they want to go or what they want to do. So when I say there is nothing better than here, it's not just physically being here, it's also being here mentally, be present. We call this concept in yoga as atha. Atha means A-T-H-A in English. Be here. Be here, be now. Don't start thinking about where else you need to be. Appreciate the moment. Right? What you see in others is a reflection of yourself. Okay? If you see good in others, it is a reflection of yourself. If you see pain in others, it is a reflection of yourself. If you see bad in others, it is a reflection of yourself. Your mindset determines what you see in others. Your mindset and what you see in others is a reflection of your personality. Why do you feel energized when you talk to some people and demotivated when you talk to others about the same topic? One of my bosses said this very long ago. If you're going bald, you can look at it in two ways. I either have a larger face to wash, or I have lesser hair to comb. Your perspective, whatever you want, you can do. So what you see in others is a reflection of yourself. All answers are within you. We need mentors, guides to help open those answers. But all answers are within you. And I have found that all answers are within you. I'm saying this from my personal experience. I know that if I'm looking for an explanation on a particular concept, I have to read somewhere. But that's not the answer. The answer is I have to go read it. Is the answer. The solution comes from there. So, if I have to find out about a company, there are sources to find out about the company. That is the source. But the answer is that I have to know to go to that source. That answer is within you. You have to tap that potential. What you make of your existence is your own choice. You can be happy, sad, energized, depressed, wildly successful. You could sleep on the couch, or you could be as energetic. There are people who have schedules that are absolutely crazy and who still have energy to perform 100 times more than anybody else. And there are people who will have one meeting in a day and say, oh, I'm done for the day. There are people who can sleep for 12 hours on a couch. There are people who can game for 20 hours at a stretch. what you do with your existence is your
No
choice. You can and will forget all of this.
This one is really deep.
You can and will forget all of this. All these are set, but you will not remember them. You can and will forget. You can remember them whenever you want.
How can you contradict this and the first point?
Your mind has to be open.
Hmm.
The same mind that is the object of pleasure and pain is the same mind that is the purpose of liberation. How is that possible? You're not borrowing somebody's mind. How did Robert Downey Jr. go from being a drug addict to the most successful Hollywood star?
Hmm.
What did he do?
Change
He
the.
didn't change his mind. He didn't change his body. The same mind was used. He didn't get a new mind, right?
Hmm.
How did that happen? How is the mind focused on addiction now focused towards making some of the biggest, highest grossing movies of all time? You can forget everything. You will forget everything. But you can also remember it whenever you want.
Hmm. I think these were some of the most valuable things and valuable observations which you have made, and I think it won't. I think, like we discussed in the last part, right? This cannot be made. I think they are received somewhere, right?
It is not. I want to thank you for being very generous with your compliments. But these are not written by me. These are written in varying forms by others. I have curated it. I have curated 10 of them.
Hmm.
I am sure I've missed out many others. I'm sure I've missed out many others. Even one more or 5 more or 10 more, etc. But these are the ones that appeal to me at the current state of mind that I am.
Hmm.
5 years ago, if I had said write 10 quotes about what inspires you, I would have said, what's the best way to make money? What's the faster? How do I be motivated? How do I go to the top? Now I'm talking about you will make mistakes, but they are not called mistakes. They are learnings.
Learnings.
You will repeat it till the lesson is learnt. Your Purusha will receive a body. Look at the way it is being interpreted now. It's like, oh my God, I need to be tall, I need to be X, I need to be Y. No, your soul has received the body. Accept that. You can choose what to make of your existence in this world.
Hmm.
We know this. But when yogic philosophy drops these on you, and then I realize, okay, I was just looking at it from a different lens.
Hmm.
Now I look at it with this lens, but these 10 stand with me right now. I will keep adding to it. Or I may take one out and add a few more. But we are all tools. All of this has been said and experienced and also taught many times.
Hmm. I had heard when I was young then that time that every time someone would read Bhagavad Gita, there has to be a different interpretation every time. There would be one point which you would interpret at the time you read, and you would think that why did you miss out on it last time? But I think that's the beauty of the scriptures and the knowledge which we have in our culture.